My name is Kim. I'm the creator of allthingsdrone.com. And today I'm going to talk about my experience with DJI, ordering the Mini 3, all of that good stuff, and how I lost my Mini 3 in all of a span of a couple of weeks. So it wasn't too long ago that I actually did an unboxing of the Mini 3 Pro, just to kind of start off backstory about my experience with DJI so far has not been great at all. If you remember from my unboxing, the drone arrived almost a month after I paid for it. This was my first time ordering from DJI directly. Normally, I buy the drone through Best Buy or whatever. Even if you buy through Best Buy, you would still have to deal with DJI at some point if you use like the refresh program. So, ordered, waited almost a month to get it. They could never tell me when it was going to arrive. They provided like a shell shipping number, but it hadn't actually arrived to the warehouse. So I went through all of that. Ray of Sunshine says, Mercy. Yeah, like it really wasn't that long ago that I actually did the unboxing. And then on top of that, I recently did a live video about what to like expect or what to look for as far as with drone insurance, and then like refresh programs. And come to find out, I actually needed it. Isn't that crazy? So, anyway, let's keep going. But I basically got the drone about a week later than when they said it would arrive. And that next week, which was last week, I was actually heading to Colombia in South America, to Cartagena. And it was for my birthday. My birthday was last week. And I was hesitant to take the Mini 3 Pro because I had just got it. If DJI had sent it when they said they were going to send it, then I would have had time to actually practice with it. I only had probably about a day to practice with it because one, it rained most of the time that when I got it, and I just didn't have that much time in between my trip. So I was like on the fence about taking it, and then I thought maybe I should take both, and then I thought maybe I should take my Mavic Air 2 only, but I ended up taking the Mini 3 Pro just when I did some more additional research on like the drone laws and regulations in Colombia. Hold on one second. So I ended up doing some more additional research about like what to expect or what to the drone regulations in Colombia. And one of the things about taking a drone to Colombia, if it was like 250 grams or more, you'd actually have to like send and register that drone. There was like not a fee or anything, but you just needed to do that. So I'm just like, let me just go ahead and take the Mini 3 Pro because it's under 250 grams. It's at 249. Depending on which battery you use, that's the fine print. Get into that in another video. So it met the requirements. I didn't have to register it, but of course I needed to follow the drone laws as far as like how many feet you can fly away from people and all this other stuff that's there. And I'll do a separate video on drone laws in Colombia, South America. So I ended up taking the Mini 3 Pro. It actually rained in Colombia as well. I was in Cartagena. So the first day that I saw sunshine, I took my drone out there to the beach in Cartagena. And I'll be talking about Cartagena on my travel channel. But one thing about Cartagena is it is they're very aggressive panhandling going on there. Like I was a little hesitant to even fly my drone because every step that you take, you see like people asking you to buy things, just everywhere. So I didn't know how they would react once I went on the beach, but no one actually bothered me when I was like looking in the air and flying the drone. So flew the drone during the day, and then I went into Old Wall City at night. Um, there's like this clock tower that's really popular. Um, it's really popular. So and Cartagena. And so I took my drone out just to get some night shots. And again, I was worried about panhandling. They were actually more aggressive there than they were on the beach in the old walled city. So I'm just like, man, I'm getting some great night shots. One thing about the Mini 3 Pro is that it does vertical shots as well as just like it's really better in low light or at night compared to the Mavic Air 2. So I remember seeing the drone like above me, and I'm just like, maybe I should bring it down. But I'm like, no, I want to get some more shots. So I flew my drone further and I actually put it in sports mode, which means it goes faster. So covered more ground further away. So I'm like taking pictures, and I'm like, all right, time to bring it back. So I do return to home. I hit the return to home button. It acts like it's coming back towards me. Let's see. Radio Sunshine says, yeah, geez, depending on the battery, good to know about how each can vary in weight. And so the drone, just to kind of go back to that, the battery that comes, the standard battery that comes with the Mini 3 Pro, the one that lasts roughly 30 something minutes, that is 249 grams. And what they do is it's the ultralight battery, and I don't know if you can see it, but basically it has 249 written over it, so you don't get it confused with the others. So if you get the Fly More Plus combo with the Mini 3 Pro, it comes with the batteries that last like 47 minutes. So I had that drone in my battery, or I had that battery in my drone. It's this one. It's a little, I can definitely tell the difference as far as like they look the same, but one weighs a little more just because one lasts longer. But that's in the fine print, so I don't know how many people really realize that. It doesn't really say a specific weight. When I get my drone back, I'll try to weigh it and see what it is, or try to see what else other folks are saying. Let's see. Rayo Sunshine says, oh yeah, that drone could disappear. Glad they didn't bother you, because for sure your focus is on the drone. Yeah. And that's, yeah. So I ended up, trying to have it return home. It was about, let's say, maybe half of the battery left. So about 20 something minutes left on the battery, and I'm trying to return home, and I see it in the actual controller that it's trying to go, and it says returning to home, and then it like just moves forward and just stops, and just it's like stuck there. So I'm like, keep trying to do it, and like I'm like panning around on the screen trying to like manually bring it back to myself, and it just was stuck. So as you can imagine, and I'm trying not to like get frustrated, like this literally happened last week. So yeah, Ration Sign says, okay, great, battery labeled. Yeah. So as you can imagine, I'm like trying to keep my cool, but at that point, since it wasn't returning home, I just like started panicking, and didn't return home. I couldn't manually return it home, and it was just like it was stuck. So it ended up like falling. Basically, the battery died at that point, and it fell in this GPS spot. I looked on the map, and guess what it fell into? The ocean. So I thought like, okay, I'm gonna go and at least see if it's like floating. And I start walking, but the maps is a little off. And so I ended up taking the actual, on the controller, it says last known destination. It has the actual GPS, basically the coordinates. And so, yeah, it definitely was over water. So I ended up Googling the Google Maps on the GPS coordinates. And I look and it's like 17-minute walk. So I'm like, okay, at this point, I started flagging down a taxi and I put in the driving directions. And it took a while for me to get a taxi. And I'm just like, just go here. Like I didn't have the name of it. I'm like, just go here. So we arrive. The taxi driver's like driving around. We pull into an area, and I don't even want to say it on camera because of where it was. So we just pull into this area, and it's gated basically. And they were like, talking. They were talking in Spanish, and I know a little bit of Spanish. I'm not really fluent or, anything in it. So I was glad to have that driver be able to talk. And before we even got into the taxi, I showed them, I'm like, how much would this cost? And they said something around like DS, like 10,000 Colombian pesos, which is like a few bucks. So keeping in mind, we get to this destination, it's gated, and they say something to him, and they tell him to drive to another area. And the taxi driver explains, it's a drone. We're trying to retrieve it. It's in the water. And they're like, no, we can't let you in. So they were like, if we let you in, we'd have to report this drone. And it was, that's all I'm going to say about that. So I was not able to get my drone. I wasn't even able to get close to the water. Yeah, do you think they hijacked your drone perhaps by interfering with this one? I've been thinking that because it was so weird seeing it on camera. It was like a force, like it was just weird. It was just like it just went forward and stopped. So they wouldn't let me get the drone. The guy basically translated to English that if he were to go look for the drone, he has to write a report, and that would mean they'd have to report me flying the drone. But I wasn't like flying it illegally. It just landed somewhere that it shouldn't have landed, but it landed in the water, and I couldn't get to that side near the water. So finally, I'm just like, oh, let me back up too. So before I even got in the taxi, I mentioned that they panhandle a lot. And at that point, I was literally like shaking. Like, I'm like, the drone is like dying. It shows that it's like landing, forced landing. I can see this in the screen. And at that point, I lost it. I was panicking. I started crying. What's up, Siova? Thanks for checking in. So talking about my story about losing my drone and getting my drone all in the same week or so. Anyway, so I was like panicking, and then someone comes up to me and asks, like, do I want to buy something? And I was with my fiance, and he's like, please, not right now. He might not have said it like that, but anyway, it was like, they were just like, oh my God, I cannot believe what you're, just like, they thought we were being rude. But I literally was like panicking because my drone was landing somewhere that I couldn't get to. So it was crazy. She ended up saying like, God bless you. Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are talking like that. But it was just, I was crying. My fiance was like, please get away from us. It was just bad timing. Like, I don't know, like, read the area. You see, I'm kind of like literally crying. I guess she thought something was, I don't know what she thought, but she just didn't read the room, read the area. Like, why did you think it was a good time to ask me to buy something? But anyway, so fast forward, after the guy said he wasn't going to let me go over to the water and retrieve my drone, I just asked the taxi driver, how much, or can you take us back to the hotel? And I forgot to ask how much to take us back to the hotel. So when we got to the hotel, I told you earlier it was 10,000 pesos to go from the walled city to the GPS coordinates. I asked Quando how much, and he said 100,000 pesos. So if you ever go out of the country, definitely always ask how much it's going to be before you get in a taxi. But at that point, I was just I wasn't thinking. So I guess he's like, hey, I translated for you all tonight, drove y'all around. Like, he was excited. He's like, of course I couldn't have filmed any of that, but he was just like driving around looking at my phone, which had the GPS coordinates, and he was just really it was kind of like a movie almost. And so I did not get my drone back. Flatline. That's, yeah, definitely. So I didn't get my drone back. I kept thinking like maybe it'll wash somewhere else, but of course it had died, and so all it shows is the last GPS coordinates. Maybe it's probably at the bottom of wherever that is. If they find it, they'll probably throw it away. I kept thinking someone's gonna find it, so I was like searching marketplaces to see if anybody put a Mini 3 Pro on there. I really just wanted the memory card back. I don't even know if it was gonna be used. I would be able to use it at that point, but I did not move the footage from earlier that day to my computer. I moved one photo and I lost all this awesome Cartagena drone footage that I was excited to get, because last time I went there, I didn't even have a drone. It was 2019, didn't have a drone. So this is the only picture. Let me share my screen. So this is the only drone photo that I was able to save from the photo, because I had took it off. Oops, don't want to print that. I had took it off of the drone just to kind of show some folks the photo. And I mean, look at this. Can you imagine the the video behind this? And it needs to be bigger, but yeah. Can you imagine the video behind this? It was something that I got, and I don't have the footage, and that's shame on me for not. In between the day and the evening, I should have moved it all off. I was just kind of in a rush, and I also should have used an SD card in the controller. This is all I have left. 1 second. This is all I have left. Let me move this off. From my drone is the 2 batteries. It's not going to work with the background. The 2 batteries and the controller. My regret is I did not put an SD card in the controller. What I have learned is the actual Pro controller, the ones that were before this that go with the other drones, like the Mavic 3, they actually let you tap into the controller and you can see, you can actually look into the files of it. This one, they don't allow it right now. You can't even add apps like you would on the professional controller. So this is the downside of it, because if this has an internal memory, so why didn't any of the pictures save to the internal memory? I see that there's some storage space, which is some of it is system, but also there's some that's it's not all system on there, but I cannot get into this controller for anything. I've plugged it into my computer. Every time I plug it into my computer, it says that it's debugging needs to be activated, but I can't even get into it. So when I tweeted DJI, they said, you're not allowed. We don't have that you don't have that capability to be able to get into it, but the other controller does. So that's a little downside with this controller. I mean, it's awesome, but the other controller that DJI came out with that has the screen built in, you can literally add apps. So now, you'd be able to share to Instagram, you might even be able to go live from that controller. Versus now with this controller, you can't do anything. Hopefully that comes with an update. But yeah. Let me see. Siova says RIP drone. Yeah, I literally had had a moment. So even right now, I'm like, keep it together. But yeah, I had a moment just because I had just got the drone. I was already on the fence of not taking it only because I didn't have enough time to practice with it. Like, I think something really happened to that drone, and it's like I've never crashed the drone. Just knocked on my desk. I've never that's never happened to me where the I've heard people talk about how their drones have landed in the water and just fell out the sky. I know I was hesitant to get another mini drone. I had a mini drone, the first initial DJI mini drone before the Mavic Air 2. I was hesitant to get the mini because I don't like the weight of it. I like that it's small. I just threw it in my purse during the trip. I like that aspect, but I was always worried that it would blow away because I heard about people saying it would blow away. But then I saw a video, and I can't remember the guy's name, but a popular tech reviewer took a windblower to the Mini 3 Pro. So I'm like, oh, okay, if he can, take a windblower or leaf blower to the Mini 3 Pro and it stays in place, then all right. But yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I had that one picture. I sent that to my mom and she was like, oh, well, accidents happen. But I'm like, you don't understand. Like, the video was amazing. I would have at least liked to have the video for all of that. So definitely, if you get this, back up your stuff in between. Put that SD card in there in the controller. I just kind of rushed out, and the SD card was definitely in the drone, but it was not in the controller. Recovery One drone, howdy, what's up? Let's see. Yeah, so I forgot about that. It's not like your phone connected to the controller. And yeah, that's another thing you have to be mindful of when you get the Mini 3 Pro is it's not like the phone. So you need to connect to Wi-Fi, especially to get the maps and things like that. So make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi and all that good stuff. Let's see what else. So fast forward, I had to, I'm still waiting to see if I'm going to get another Mini 3 Pro. If you order it directly from the website, it says August as of right now for the Mini 3 Pro, just by itself, because I don't need another controller. Excuse me. Because I don't need another controller, so it's saying August. So my two options I'm working on is waiting to see who's gonna help with that. But I did have the DJI refresh. I had to go back through DJI, and I gotta say their customer service is terrible. I never knew that because through Best Buy, I had the DJI refresh on my Air 2, but I've not done anything to it, so I've never had to engage with them. So, right now they had some other products released. Even on when you call them, they're saying that they're kind of short staffed and all that stuff. So, had to call them and report the drone as a flyaway because I don't have it, so I can't. If there's two different options, so if you were to do a damage or the DJI refresh, you'd actually have to have the drone. But since I don't have the drone and it's basically a flyaway, I'm able to use the flyaway coverage 2 times because I got a 2-year package. So that was an additional $235 to add to, about $200 and something to add the DJI refresh for 2 years. Okay, so the process was I actually had to call because when I did it from my remote, they it didn't work, so it said to call. So I called last week and basically they said, okay, we're putting in a ticket. You should hear something in 24 hours to 48 hours. Of course, I never heard anything because DJI is very slow right now. So I've been calling, tweeting. They're just like, oh, you hear something in they kept saying 24 to 48 hours. Yeah, so I ended up calling back like I never got this email that you're talking about, and so come to find out, they needed me to walk me through. Like basically, I had to enable to make sure I had to sync my flight logs. So like recovery one drone is saying they may ask you to for the flight log. So yeah, I had to sync my flight logs, and then I had to select fly away on the controller. And then that happened. But I'm like, why didn't y'all ask me for that on Friday, which is I reported a week ago? Why didn't you ask me for that then? They just asked me for that like midweek of this week. And so they're like, we'll send you an email. So I get this email and they basically show me like return to like where I started out at. Because at first I was worried that my return to home, like it never synced as far as my return to home coordinates. But they actually had the return to home coordinates on there. It showed it was about 2.7 kilometers away from my, like it landed 2.7 kilometers away. It showed like how much battery I had left. It said, basically I didn't have enough battery to return home, which I don't know about that either, because like I said earlier, it just would not even come back at all. It was like it was stuck. Let's see. Wow, but it's worth it. Fly always and Wi-Fi happen. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, so the flight logs, you go into your settings and there's like a option to sync it because I have multiple drones, so it asks if you want to sync it. It's just for some reason like the button was on, but he made me turn the button off and turn it back on, and then it synced. So yeah, so as of now, I have paid for my flyaway. They said basically it was a user error, which whatever. Don't believe that. It was just the weirdest thing ever. Like I've never ever had issues with flying the drone. Even when I had the Mini and the Air 2, I've just never had those issues. So at the end of the day, at least no one was hurt. I lost my footage, which sucks. I didn't bring my Mavic Air 2, so I didn't have like a backup one. And I'm like, man, if this was somewhere like in Atlanta or somewhere I am now, I could just like go rent a drone or something. Because I really wanted that footage. Like it was beautiful over there. I showed you the picture, and then imagine like some of the night shots that I was able to get. So that is my story about how I received the Mini 3 Pro drone and lost it all in a matter of a couple of weeks. I will keep you all posted on like the time frame. I'm not trying to jinx it, but the track record of DJI, like I don't know when I'll actually get it. I'm a little bummed because I wanted to definitely do some more videos with y'all. I'm just gonna have to use what I have. I did upload some of the vertical footage. All I have is Atlanta vertical footage as of now, and it was raining that week, so I have like some jury footage, but I was able to edit it and get what I could out of it. So I'll be posting some more of that. I'll be doing some comparisons of what I saw so far between the Mavic Air 2 and the Mini 3 Pro. So let me know what questions you all have. But I just wanted to talk about my experience because as of now, I'm like really turned off with DJI. It's really kind of like a catch-22 because DJI makes a really great drone. It DJI kind of reminds me of Apple because it's like I said in my other lives, they'll put out these products that are not completely done. They might need updates. They put out something like every year or every so often where you're like, man, now I have to upgrade. And it's like, it just reminds me of Apple, the Apple craze. But um, so far, I'm not impressed with their customer service. And if you look on like Trustpilot and all that stuff, they don't have really good reviews. So I was just kind of shocked to know that I spent, roughly $1,300 and this is the kind of customer service that I got. So, I mean, I had to call, I had to tweet, I had to chat with them, and that was time out of my trip, out of my schedule. And it's just not been a great experience. And finally, I just said, like, I'm going to have to go to my bank if you all don't deliver on this DJI refresh. Like, I need some more details here. So it kept saying it was going to be 24 to 48 hours, and it ended up being a week. And I don't have it yet. So I don't even know. I can't even say. I'll let you know. I know it's not going to be shipped today, but I don't know if they're saying, they said I should receive, that it should be shipped like 2 to 3 business days from today. But their track record on like the Mini 3 Pro, they have such high demand and they didn't produce enough. Like even on their website, since the beginning, it said you can only order like 3. And if you order multiples, it would be canceled. Like you can't even get it at Best Buy. You can't get it on Amazon. Everything's pre-order right now. So it's crazy to me. So unless you can go in a store, I know that I know one of my followers is in Dubai and they said that they have some in the store right now. So he was just saying he's going to go directly to the store. But I'm like, unless you can like get your hands on it, if you're okay with just spending some money and just waiting to hopefully it comes in August, then yeah. But as of now, I'm not really recommending the Mini 3 Pro until like you can actually get your hands on it because it's just been such a time trying to actually get it. Let's see. Yeah, Raya Sunshine says, amen, you're back home. Yeah, no injuries. Yeah, yep. I'm not worried about it. Like the thing that's really fine about is that I came home, and when I literally came home, I saw my Mavic Air 2 because I was considering taking both. I literally left the Mavic Air 2 like on my way out, and I'm like, I'm glad I still have this now. Hindsight, I wish I had taken the Mavic Air 2 because that's a little more easier to replace right now. But hey, it is what it is. It worked out. And I have a little bit of footage to show you all from the Mini 3 Pro. And hopefully I'll have some more videos. Hopefully I'll get it soon so I could talk about it. But I'm really looking into other manufacturers anyway, just because I want to make sure I talk about other manufacturers and not just DJI. So thanks for watching. Raya Sunshine says you'll get it soon. Thanks for sharing your learning experience. Yep. Thanks for watching, y'all. Definitely, if you're watching this replay, check out some of the videos like with the unboxing, and I talk about the DJI refresh, as well as I talk about just travel insurance that I used in conjunction with refresh, because you still have to pay a fee to replace like when you do a flyaway coverage. They offered me to pay for a certain fee for flyaway, or I could get like a 15% off discount and buy it again. So the travel insurance is going to help because they'll reimburse me for what I paid for. Basically, they actually have like a lost, like if you lose something during your trip. So I was glad I got that insurance. I mean, I travel with it anyway. I talked about it in previous videos. So I'm glad I got that travel insurance. So thanks for watching. My name is Kim, the creator of allthingsdrone.com. definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel for like drone news and drone tips. And tomorrow I'm going live on my travel channel, which is Work Hard, Travel Well. I'll be kind of like celebrating and ending out the birthday month on there, as well as talking about traveling to Cartagena, what it was like, because there's still some things you have to do before you can travel there, just due to, of course, COVID and all that stuff. So I'll be talking about my experience there. That was my second time visiting Cartagena, and so I'll be talking there. So if you want to know more about traveling to Cartagena, what to do, where to stay, definitely check out my travel channel, which is youtube.com/work hard travel well. And I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.